YouTubers, Mike Martin's here. Mike Martin's channel, bringing you Mike in the night. Every Saturday night, Mike in the night. I want to thank everyone for joining me tonight for Fomo, fear of missing out. What are you in fear of missing out of, people? What do you fear you're gonna lose? What do you fear of not getting into at the right time? Anyways, guys, Mike in the night here. Thanks for tuning in. It is Saturday night, and Fomo. I got a Fomo video out there that's been really popular. I was watching our buddy over at, give him a plug here, Fomo Network, and he's growing in subscriptions. Very good. Fomo, fear of missing out. And this really good article, a really good story he has here with, not a story, this is actually fact, not fiction, talking about another real estate agent who is very pro housing will go up continuously, and striking in the hearts of many, FOMO, fear of missing out. So this is Fomo Network. Really good guy, Daniel. I like him a lot. So I plug his channel, you know, and his subscriptions keep going up, which is really good. And he really has a handle on what's going on. He's really good at doing math and doing just looking at benchmark prices, looking at interest rates and stuff like that. I read the articles, we talk about it, we discuss it here on the channel, and we go from there. So FOMO. FOMO's everywhere, whether it's Bitcoin. I got a Bitcoin article I'm going to cover tonight. I got FOMO in texting, FOMO in Amazon, FOMO in fear of missing out of everything. But the real fears of missing out, no one's addressing. Having kids is a big deal. A lot of people aren't too worried about having kids anymore and continuing their bloodline or laying some roots. Another thing that people aren't so FOMO about is getting married. People are kind of holding back on getting married now. I don't know what the deal with that is, but people are holding back on getting married, and no FOMO for married. Back about 100 years ago, women, if they weren't married by the time they were 22, 23, I mean, they were in huge FOMO distress. Fear of missing out. So I got it here, just in case I'm not pronouncing it right.
FOMO.
That's how it says. It's easy.
FOMO.
See that? And I got it in Portuguese too for tonight, just in case.
Medo de perder.
Medo de perder. Fear of missing out. So Formifist, this is a plug for you, buddy. And I'm dedicating this show tonight for you, buddy. Formifist Network. I really like this guy. So plug for Formifist. Let's move on. So I did a FOMO video talking about it. It got almost a thousand views in less than... Wait a minute, that's one day. Wait a minute, July. Holy crap, it almost has 1,000 views in just one day. That's huge. I get videos, but usually they pile on views, passive views. And there I am there talking about... So, talking about... People are being stress tested now. Stress test is a big deal. So, if you haven't seen this video with my beautiful fedora on, I'm talking about, I can't stop laughing in this video because there's people out there that actually believe that the markets will continue to go up, and we are the last generation, this existing generation that is in a bracket, age bracket to buy. If they don't buy now, they will never own ever. That's, you know, I just had to go spiritual there for a sec because I don't know what's going on with that. Burning the Midnight Oil with Mike in the Night. FOMO edition. FOMO edition. So that's the video I did. It got 1,000 views in one day. And let's look at some comments here. That's why I brought this video up, for comments, right? So I go into, want to see me laugh my buttocks off here? Watch. If this generation, current generation, does not buy now, they will never afford to ever buy ever. Anyway, okay. And then they say, if people don't buy now, you're never going to buy. You'll never afford to buy. That's the same thing they said when I lived in Miami. And the price of the average house went from $130,000 to like $400,000. And then everyone was like, "Oh, you got to buy a house now, Mike." I'm like, no. And yeah, I did buy a house, but I bought it when it went back to $90,000, below the price, the original price it was before this stupid takeoff in 2004, 2005, this whole FOMO thing. So you got to be careful about timing the markets. And Fomo Network did a video too about timing markets and stuff. Very important, crucial that you guys check it out. And Mike in the Night, burning the midnight oil with me, guys. Thanks for joining me. Get the comments rolling, guys. Why isn't anyone here, man? Get the comments rolling, people. Let's get some conversation started here. Mike in the Night, broadcasting from Merritt, British Columbia, FOMO edition. So this is the video here. So let's read some comments on it. So if you haven't seen it, it's on my channel. And I put a little bit of thing here, FOMO. Let's say it one more time.
FOMO.
It sounds very professional, you know what I'm saying? Dang, 0088 is in the house. Sup, man? Adam A is in the house. Everyone's rolling into the comments section. FOMO edition with Mike in the Night, burning the midnight oil. So FOMO, anxiety that an exciting or interesting event may occur, be happening elsewhere, often aroused by posts seen in social media website. I realize I was a lifelong sufferer of FOMO. Are you a lifelong sufferer of FOMO? Are you? I need to know, because FOMO is a big deal. Whether you're waiting on the sidelines to buy your house, whether you're waiting on the sidelines to buy something on Amazon. Oh my God, Walking Journey's here on vacation. Walking Journey's on vacation with his family. Check out his channel, guys. Walking Journey, two-time world champion in the house. I want to thank him for joining us in the comment section. He's also a moderator. So Mike says, when people say our generation needs to buy now, they'll never get in. Don't realize that there will come a time when no baby boomers will be involved in politics, and the vast majority of voters will be in favor of crashing the housing markets. Yeah, it's expensive now, but even in Australia, it cannot last unless people stop being people, which is very true. And then Mike says again, have a look at the Labour Party, current opposition in Australia, is proposing eliminate negative gearing. Have capital gains tax. There's good chance they'll be in power next year. If they go through with it, pop goes the weasel. That's very true. A lot of political platforms, are using the housing crisis as a good reason to get into power. And it works. It happened in New Zealand, and now it's going to happen in Australia. Because the Australian proper is still the majority of the country. So right now, they will vote in favor of a government that's going to actually be in favor of them. Okay, what do we got going on here? Oh, Walking Journey is back from vacation. Jason is asking, how many months do you give Q3 to see the market correct? This summer right now, we are living in the housing blame game. The great Canadian, Australian, New Zealand, UK housing blame game. We're in that position right now. You're seeing articles coming up everywhere. Is it the government? Is it the casinos for laundering money? Is it foreign investors? Is it money launderers? Is it the banks? Is it the underwriters? Is it the lenders for lying and fudging numbers? Is it on pay stubs? Is it who do you blame now? You know, do you blame the party you went to where everyone talked you into buying a house because you had FOMO? Is it FOMO? Were you led by FOMO into buying? Anon, my man here, says, a year ago I was duped into taking a job in Sydney. Man, was that a mistake. So Sydney is one of the major cities in Australia, if you guys don't know. Businesses are struggling to find talent. What's their solutions? Ship a ton of people from overseas? What a joke. Rent is a ripoff. As a result, mass exodus happening from the Australian proper. Oh, the Australian proper is leaving all the big cities. They just can't afford to live in their own cities. And if you follow me on trends in the housing market, you know what the heck I'm talking about. If the young generation can't afford to buy, then the older generation will have no one to sell. Ding, 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 ding! Evil Ant! Evil Ant knows what he's talking about. Right there. If the young generation can't afford to buy, then the older generation will have no one to sell to. FOMO. People say no to FOMO. Thus, the conclusion is either the older generation never dies, or the younger generation gets property for free. In the meantime, young people working in aged care professions will not be able to afford to live in the cities. Thus, older generation will have to wipe their own butts. And that is true! Evil Ant, two-time world champion on my channel, commenting, and comes up with really good stuff. Oh, Brother John. Hey, Anthony, did you see my vid? Brother John's got a channel, guys. Check it out, too, please. Check out Brother John. I'll check out his video later, too, in the comment section. And then Hugh Jazz says, Mike, what do you mean by a good hedge against inflation? Well, every time a currency or a reserve currency goes out of control, the price of gold usually spikes in silver and platinum and all precious metals because they actually have trinsic values. So if you actually hold silver in your hand, it's actually more valuable than having a stack of money that's absolutely worthless, because a loaf of bread could go from $1 to $10,000 through hyperinflation. You see what happened in Tanzania. Coca-Cola went from the morning from $1 Tanzanian dollar to like $1.6 trillion for a Coca-Cola by the end of the night or the end of the week or something. It was like retarded. BTC is taking a hit. Yeah, we got Bitcoin coming up, guys, in the show. And Brother John saying gold and silver on sale now, folks. Yep, prices are down. I picked up a couple of quite a few ounces actually, a couple of days ago from the what do you call it? It's the reserve thingy you go buy it at, and so someone's talking about $7,400 and maintaining that level. And then Brother John saying, buy the dips. And then Rainer Mola saying, which housing market are we talking about today? We are talking about FOMO across the board. Fear of missing out. Whether it's on Amazon, Bitcoin, there's so many, texting, whatever you're doing, FOMO is taking over our lives. 100 years ago, guys, I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. 100 years ago, if you were a woman, you were 23 years old and you weren't married yet, you had FOMO anxiety when you wake up and when you go to bed. It doesn't leave you. FOMO, fear of missing out. Now, people are not at fear of missing out on the important things anymore. You know? A lot of people aren't fearing. People don't fear about having kids anymore and starting a family while they're young. They don't care. People don't care about getting married anymore. It's like in the back seat. Backseat of people's futures. They don't care. Very true, folks. Buy now or never. One small condo will make you rich, rich, millionaire. Canada's a hot commodity. Last chance for this generation. That's Frank I. He's pro going up. Frank I knows, you know. And then, Mike, even with the stress test and raising interest rates, if you look at the market is cooling and not crashing, the banks and governments are not going to let it happen. I could be wrong, but the crash could be coming, has been coming long now. It is interesting to see people getting out of Vancouver. There must be jobs where people are eventually settling if it is far enough out of Vancouver to make commuting impossible. Yeah, lots of you don't understand. There's futures everywhere. You don't have to depend on a city to make it. Believe me, you don't. That is the biggest lie. The biggest lie. And then Anon says in Australia they put on this 6-episode show calling Buying Blind. These couples borrowed to the max 1 to 2 million plus these dumpster homes. Major FOMO fear mongering. Yeah, see, Mongo, they put up these shows, okay? Then you see these young couples coming in. And they're like, yeah, if you don't buy this dumpster property, yeah, you're going to have to tear it down and redo the foundation and stuff. But if you don't buy this dumpster for $2 million, guess what? You're never going to buy. And that's what I said at the beginning of this video. This video I'm reading the comments on. And you know what I said? Move to Alabama, man. Move to South Carolina. Move to Texas. Move anywhere. Move anywhere else. Move to Ottawa. Move to PEI. I don't care. If you're going to be a slave, okay, if you're in Australia, then move to Darwin. Oh, Southern Darwin, Mike. Make something in Darwin. Go up there, make Darwin great again, or make Darwin great for the first time. Mike and the Knights. Miranda saying, dude, you are an inspiration to me. I'd love to get out of the city. It's a huge step for someone who has lived in major metropolis their whole life to think about moving away from it all. My major concern is grocery stores and lousy produce and low selection of good foods in small towns. Nope. We got farmers markets and tables everywhere. We got a big save on foods here in town. We got a big save on foods and buy low foods and 2 shopping places. And then we also have, like I said, tons of tables on the sides of the highways with fresh corn, fruits. I buy all my fruits from the fruit stand. Peaches. Oh my God, the peaches I got. Oh my God, I'm actually debating on making some peach brandy with it because the peaches are so sweet. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going here. My major small towns. I don't care about the fluff the city has to offer. I'm seriously thinking this now. Gardening seems like a daunting task. No, it's not. It's fun. But the thought of it is appealing to me at the same time. Oh, you could have such a good time, you know, doing your own thing. It's not as daunting as it seems, you know. I live my life in Vancouver, BC rental from Ugal Tom. If I don't buy the same or comparable $4.7 million Vancouver shed ASAP, or I FOMO. But if I do buy and fear a FOMO, I can't afford to live alone. So nothing will change in respect of the current $1,000 Canadian rent I'm paying for the studio in this shed. Except I have to pay. Then, if I buy this shed, thus where I live in, due to the asking price of $4.7 million, that is $7,000 Canadian every month for the 25 junior mortgage alone and the whole house indeed. But I can never get $6,000 rent for a month for the 4 rooms I don't use myself. Yeah, you're not gonna, that's a really bad deal, right? Especially if you buy at the wrong time, which is the wrong time, and the wrong time's been going on for years. I promise you, in at most 5 years, you could buy one of these $1 million houses in Canada or Australia for at most $500,000 or probably less. All bubbles are about to pop. Asset deflation is coming big time. Food and stuff will be in inflation territory, but assets will be in a step of deflation. Oh, they have to. You guys are reading it all wrong. Property values will double again from their current levels. Trillions in dirty money need to be moved out of China and India. People forget about currency devaluation, contributing to the rise of home prices. There is so much money being printed. People are obvious We sold our gold reserves. Think it's a big deal only in Canada? Don't forget, it's happening all over the world. Australia, United States, Europe, there are, you forgot New Zealand. There are trillions and trillions of dirty profits that need to be put anywhere. But by the Chinese or Indian bank. What do you think that guy owns a factory making t-shirts, paying girls 50 cents a day. Does with his money. That's true. What does a person do that owns a sweatshop? They got to park their money somewhere, right? Someone's asking me if I'm running for mayor. There are 3 candidates so far. Well, I have to announce by November, right? I'm not too sure. If I run for mayor and merit, I kind of want to be the one guy that brings the difference. You know, the guy that brings the difference, the guy that brings a different view on things. I do have a business background, managed a pile of employees that I hired through my businesses. I don't know. I got some to offer the city. Future planning for the city. There's lots to do. The thing is, if I become mayor, I do want to make a mayoral thing a full-time job. I don't want to do it like a few days a week. I actually want to do a full-time job and focus on the city. And yeah, it says you have to announce next month if you want to. Election is October 20th. Well, I don't know. I don't mind if I run for councillor. I think I'll run for councillor first and attend council meetings and then go from there. And then from councillor, I'll see how it goes for 4 years and see if I could do mayor. But yeah, there's a couple of blocks running for mayor, so that's very dangerous when people run in blocks. So someone says, "Hey Mike, if you run, I got some money to donate, but I want a favor." So yeah, you know what? I might run for. I don't know about running for mayor, because I don't know if I want to dedicate that much time yet. Because I'm enjoying what I'm doing with my business and my kids are small. I might run for city councilor. So this Monday, I'm gonna probably go by City Hall. I'll even write it on my hand. And this Monday, I'll go to City Hall and I'll ask them for the information that I need. Woo! I like this. Don't keep the Russian girl of your dreams waiting. See her now. I love these pop-ups here, guys. So let's move on. Fomo.
Fomo. Fomo.
Let's hear it in Portuguese.
Medo de perder.
Medo de perder.
Medo de perder.
Okay, Bitcoin. Fomo is back on track from yesterday's article. If there is anything worth talking about today, it surely is the crypto space. Bitcoin has crossed the 7K and it is trading near $7,500 year to date. We are still down by 47.85%. But the $600 move in 60 minutes yesterday for Bitcoin was a remarkable one. The sellers in the OTC market are holding off their Bitcoin as they believe that prices are going to go high. On the other hand, buyers are eager to find sellers so that they can buy low and sell high. As I said yesterday, the suppressive bear market conditions are fading, and with yesterday's move, especially if the momentum continues at this pace, it will be only a matter of time before the bear market is forgotten altogether. Remember, FOMO, fear of missing out, element for Bitcoin is very strong and it drives the trading action aggressively. Regulatory space is becoming more digestible for crypto. Countries like Japan, which has shown much tougher attitude towards cryptos in the past, are becoming friendlier. For instance, the fact that the SBI is special, I'm not going to say that, a major financial firm in Japan opened its crypto exchange for traders says it all. But to narrow down the focus on specific events which triggered this move, I would go for BlackRock, the world's largest exchange trade fund provider and asset manager is also thinking to venture into the world of cryptos. When Goldman Sachs announced its crypto trading desk, we did see that in their competitors were not going to be reticent. Of course, bigger institutions have not had the chance to enjoy the crypto parties yet, and now they are on it. Although the CEO of BlackRock didn't fully back the rumors after the report, it absolutely makes sense that the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, would dive into the crypto world, because now we are at a stage where one can use various techniques from the valuations on cryptocurrency. Another event which is worth keeping an eye on today is Congress decision on cryptos. The House Committee on Agriculture, Financial Policy Subcommittee both will discuss the digital asset and cryptocurrencies as money. Any positive stance towards cryptos would have the potential to fuel crypto rather further. So is it FOMO that's rising it, or is it everything that has transpired in, whether it is in Japan, whether it is in Congress? Is this making cryptos, is FOMO, is it FOMO? So what is it, guys? In terms of technical analysis, the next major resistance for Bitcoin is 7,749, the high of 7th of June. On a daily time frame, the price is having a battle with its 100-day moving average, which is at 7,495. The 200-day moving average trading at 9,575, which would serve as the next resistance. Of course, the price would have to clear the psychological level of $8,000 first before targeting a 200-day moving average. In terms of volume, it has reached 3-month high as the price has taken out the 7K mark. This tells me that the current move is here to stay because of serious conviction behind it. So that's it right there. Are cryptos coming back through FOMO, or are they coming back because of what's happening around the world? Richie Cunningham's in there. Hey, Mike, the crash is happening now. I know. Anon in the house. I was reading your comments here, guys, on the video. FOMO video. So if you're just joining in, guys, to Mike in the Night, go in and it's a really good show from the beginning. We're treating FOMO today.
FOMO.
Here it is in Portuguese.
Medo de perder.
Yeah.
Medo de perder.
That's it. Medo de perder. So, FOMO's back on track with Bitcoin. And how Amazon feeds your FOMO on Prime Day. So, FOMO through Amazon. What is going on? Amazon Prime is aptly named to psychologists. A prime is a cue in the environment that stimulates behavior even if the actor isn't aware of its impact. Prime Day stokes and the fires of consumption among bargain-hunting shoppers, but it's not just the prospect of saving some bucks that keeps this event front and center in America. Amazon knows how to tap into the drives today's shoppers, guys. So, you know, this is all triggering. This is all being triggered. It's all psychological. FOMO is very, very, very psychological. So everyone's saying to hold cryptos. Everyone's down. Some people are down. Mr. Roboto's here. You know, Mr. Roboto drove through Merritt and didn't stop to see me. Very upset. A need for stimulation during the slow time of the year. The idle mind is the devil's workshop. The July doldrums are the ideal time to create a prime for online shopping. An externally sanctioned excuse for consumers to engage in self-gifting. So FOMO in Amazon. So Mr. Cunningham saying, I'd come to see you if I came to Canada for sure, buddy. And then someone's commenting. So FOMO with Bitcoin, the last article I read here for FOMO Bitcoin. Now, my question is to you guys, who bought at 20 large and now is sitting on it? I feel really bad for those people. You know, a lot of those people got in at the wrong time. They timed the market. I did it too. I did it when I bought stocks in Nintendo with the Pokemon Go. I thought it was going to go crazy, and man, did I ever lose. But it happens. It happens, guys. So, let's go back to the other article. So, FOMO, Fear of Missing Out, Part 1. Prime Day is an online phenomenon, and one that has people buzzing or obsessing about how to participate. The meta hype. It's called meta hype. It's a psychological thing, guys. This is stuff Sigmund Freud would love to deal with if he was alive today. If Sigmund Freud was alive today and he saw this FOMO, back again from the beginning of the show, like I said, back in the day, if you're a woman and you're 23 and you weren't married 100 years ago, you got FOMO going through you. Fear of missing out when you wake up and go to bed. Now, that's not the case anymore. You know, everything's changed. We're going to have to do what Mike in the Night changes from 1980 to 2018 changes. Major changes. What people used to fear before, what people fear now, what people were scared of, or what people loved back in the day, what people don't love anymore. How people got married young and people don't get married anymore, you know, things like that. How people had big families. No one cares to have a family anymore, you know. So, so someone says if Bitcoin goes to 10K, I'm in the money. That's good to hear. And Mr. Roboto C says, FOMO is so psychological. You are right. Rational-minded people won't make hasty decisions like that. Okay, so how can I miss out? We wonder. It's bad enough that I had to see all those charming photos on Facebook from that party I wasn't invited to last week. So that's FOMO. You missed out. So FOMO Part 2. Injecting an element of uncertainty and implied scarcity into the mix. So this has to do with housing too, people. This has to do with Bitcoin. This has to do with everything. Pay attention. Injecting an element of uncertainty. You're not even sure. And implied scarcity into the mix is an old trick, but also an effective one. Because the Prime Day deals come and go rather quickly, the pressure is on to grab every possible bargain. This requires great diligence to be sure that you don't miss out and the exact item you didn't know you craved until you see it heavily discounted. Amazon gives people a good reason to prime their consumption pumps. Other companies can follow the same basic script if they're able to put their own spin on it. Own or invent a specific time, place, or event that isn't already taken. Stoke the viral fire, inject just enough scarcity and unpredictability, and that's the housing market, into the mix to get the purchase momentum rolling. And sit back and watch as FOMO does the heavy lifting for you. So basically, it's a psychological method, or like they say here, they call it a injection, that makes you think that you're losing. You lost. That you're losing. And that's not a good feeling to have, that you feel that you're losing. It's a horrible feeling to have. Especially when everybody went to the party and you weren't invited. And everyone got tagged on there, and it's coming up on your whatchamacallit, on your notifications that buddy tagged buddy over at this party and you weren't there. Trust me, fear of missing out is a fear, it's a phobia, and people, it's becoming the norm now, and everybody is in a fear of not getting on the ball at the right time, you know what I'm saying? Texting and driving study shows that FOMO is greater than the fear of death. So it's true. People texting and driving prefer to reply to a text while they're driving. Look at this one. The lady's texting, and the lady outside crossing in front of her car is also texting. Also texting as she's walking by her. Wow. Mike in the night, FOMO night. FOMO, FOMO, FOMO. FOMO, whether it is in Bitcoin, Amazon, texting, housing. FOMO everywhere. FOMO is all around. See it in the air. Feel it everywhere. Hope is everywhere. No, it's FOMO everywhere. Yeah, walking journey's there. Walking journey is there. So Dang is going to eat some pho. Marius is asking, what is FOMO? FOMO, fear of missing out. Mike of the Night, broadcasting from British Columbia here, live. The fear of missing out can be emotionally exhausting, but it can also be psychologically dangerous. Scientists say that nearly 3/4 of young adults say they've experienced all-consuming FOMO, which in turn has been linked to lower levels of general mood and life satisfaction. But according to recent research in the journal Risk Analysis, it can also be linked to a harrowing outcome: car crashes. Distracted drivers causing thousands of fatalities per year, yet... This crap popping up here. Yet many drivers don't perceive stimulations, texting, and driving to be necessarily dangerous. The Australian researcher behind the study show in a paper that Team Cities researched that talking on a cell phone increases the risk of crashing 2.2 times, while texting increased the risk 6.1 times. In their survey, 447 drivers in Australia, the team attempted to uncover the reasons why people continue to drive distracted even though it's obviously dangerous. Two of the major reasons people continue to text while driving, the researchers explain. Unaccompanying statement released Monday include that the sense of separation anxiety and the fear of missing out, FOMO, on whatever friends are doing or talking about. Okay, you know why, people? It's because when you're drinking and driving and you get caught, you go to jail and they tow your car. They should start doing that when they catch people texting and driving. Put them in jail for 6 hours, 9 hours, and tow their car away. Once you start passing that law, instead of giving them a fine, guess what? They'll stop texting. Metal Gear Mark III said, Mike, you guys need a full restaurant. Oh, man, we do. If anybody wants to open a full restaurant up here in Merritt, we do have a lot of empty restaurant spaces for sale. There's a restaurant you could buy. It's already a restaurant. It's closed down. I think the lady's asking $170,000, and there's a 2-bedroom apartment upstairs in Merritt. It's like a 2-bedroom apartment, and then downstairs is a restaurant with seating, everything. It's just closed down. It's been closed down for over 10 years now. But you buy it, freshen it up, clean it up, and open a full restaurant. I will be there 3 times a day or twice a day. I promise I will. I will even invest in creating the business if I have to. Mr. Roboto said, I looked at Google Maps for Merritt. It has huge potential. It does, guys. Lots of young families moving. It's all young families here now. Everyone thinks it's old people. There's old people in Merritt, but, you know, they die off. Just like I'm going to die off too. Don't worry. Don't panic. I'm going to die too. But yeah, they die off. Younger families keep coming in, and you see tons of parents holding kids' hands, going to school. This. You should see my kid's school. Man, it's just, you know, it's a private school he's in where he pays monthly. And for Antonio, and he's only 4. And he goes 3 times a week. It's full. You gotta pre-register months before because there's so many young kids in this town. And Merritt has enormous potential. FOMO is a powerful motivator of behavior, including smartphone checking behavior. Cyber psychology researcher who was not part of this research. The finding of smartphone checking despite driving shows participants were engaging in very risky, harmful behavior. Though it is not surprising, as people often know the risk of using smartphones while driving. It does demonstrate that people overestimate their own ability of multitasking and think that other people are the ones who can't do it as well. Yeah, I used to have a friend all the time that used to tell me all the time saying, yeah, you know why, Mike, you don't drive drunk? It's because you don't practice. If you practice driving drunk, you'll be a good drunk driver. I'm like, no, I'm not driving drunk. So that's what they think here about the cell phone usage. You practice using it, or you think you're good at using it, or you're a better driver than others, and that you won't cause a fatality or a problem. Let's move on. Australia smashes property as FOMO flips. An Aussie shares racked up their second financial year of double-digit growth. Oh, this is old. Hold on a sec. No, it's July 2nd, 2018. 12 months of June. CoreLogic did. I can't read this because they want me to pay $40 to read this article for this guy with this weird mustache. Looks like Uncle Rico, so I can't read that. Fear of missing out. Perception of foreign buyers driving up house prices. CMHC. Toronto. The Canada Mortgage Housing Corporation said that home buyers in Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal believe foreign buyers have heavy influence in the markets. Canadian home buyers are influenced by fear of missing out. Perceived impact of foreign investors, activity, and expectations of future growth. A study from CMHC released on Wednesday found that 68% of Vancouver respondents, 48% of Toronto respondents, and 42% of Montreal respondents believe foreign buyers are having a lot of influence on their markets and driving up home prices. The insight into precipitations around foreign buyers that 30,000 respondents in 3 cities shared the Crown Corporation between September and mid-October is in stark contrast with recent data from Statistics Canada showing foreign buyers only own 4.8% of Vancouver properties and 3.4% of homes in Toronto. So FOMO is taking over, people. FOMO. So says the guy who's making videos while he drives. Do you know laws refer to cell phone use, not just texting? Oh no, my cell phone's on my... I use my cell phone sometimes as my dash cam, so it's just filming. And sometimes I could reverse the camera to me while I'm driving, and I'm just talking. I'm not using it. I'm not holding it. I am obviously using it, but I'm driving while using it, right? A lot of people do that. And I'm focused on doing what I'm doing. I'm not looking at the screen, right? So I do selfie videos or just forward videos of the street while I'm driving and talking. So I don't think that's... I've never had... I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm better than other drivers. I'm not even focused on the phone. I leave it recording. And if I'm in drive-thru, I look at the phone sometimes and kind of comment on what I'm saying. But anyways, let's move on. Majority of Toronto and Vancouver real estate foresee buy bidding wars. Let's look up some more FOMO in the news. What's going on with FOMO all over the world? The science of FOMO and what we're really missing out on. This is a pretty good one. This is scientific, guys, man. The scientific channel tonight. Mike in the night. Mike in the night. It happens to everyone. You've been invited to go out. Okay, this is the same thing. Okay, it's prevalent, especially among young adults in Western society. And while fear of missing out has always been there, the explosion of social media has launched our younger people headfirst into FOMO experience. Oh, yes. Now, we have the ability or cause to easily see that all our peers are doing it all the time. There's no escaping it, really. So let's see what's happening with FOMO in housing. And let's see what's happening in Australia. Here we go. How to avoid FOMO when buying a home. This is important, guys. This article is very important, okay? Many people are rushing to the housing market due to FOMO. And there could be some big consequences. When interest rates go up, there is a good news and bad news scenario to buying right now, and everyone in the housing market needs to know what to expect before you rush in. Here is the good news and the bad news right now. The good news about low interest rates staying on the horizon for the long term is that we will have more of our money going towards principal versus interest payments than if interest rates were higher. Let's use close to the average Canadian housing prices. For example, $400,000, let's make a 10% down payment on a $400,000 house. That would be $40,000 and will leave us with a mortgage of $360,000 plus $7,200 in housing insurance. You need to pay Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation insurance when you put less than 20% down. That's why I bought my house free and clear. I didn't want to give them that housing insurance. No. On your home. There are different rates of insurance depending on how much you put down. $7,200 is the fee if you put down 10%. You can find CMHC calculators all over the internet or your bank's site. With a $367,200 mortgage, a conservative 4% interest rate, and a mortgage amortized over 24 years, your payments would be roughly $1,940 a monthly. Your property taxes, heat, insurance, and lawn gnomes, wheelbarrow are all on the top of that. So make sure you crunch the numbers. Adding them all up can really increase your payment, especially if you're buying a condo with maintenance fees. Yeah, guys, we need to do an entire show on maintenance fees. Maintenance fees are the biggest criminal movement ever. If you told, and I said this last week or 2 weeks show, if you talked to Pablo Emilio Escobar, and you actually talked to him and said, no, Senor Escobar, stop investing in more cocaine. Start building condos and charging strata fees. It's the way to go. People will pay you $300-400 a unit and build tons of condominiums all over Canada and US and charge strata fees. And when something breaks, you send an inspector there, Senor Escobar, in 2 weeks to check the problem. And then in 3 months, you get it fixed. You know, that would be the best mafia move ever. If you just built condos and just collected strata forever. Man, even if you sold the condo units at cost or at a loss, you'll make up in strata. You do let's say 100 units in a tower, for 100 units, right? That's a lot of money. $300 per month. That's a lot of money, people. That's a lot of cake. You'll make back that money in a couple of years. You'll be swimming in money. And then when something breaks down, you send somebody over there once a year to check something, and you know what I'm saying? And then you get some person in the strata council to be president that you could trust, that's not going to get expensive things done to the building, you know? Jasmine in the house from Vancouver. Stretch here. When interest rate increase, so monthly interest rate payment, and this is what I'm talking about here, guys. So all you FOMO people out there running to buy, this is what's going to happen when interest rates go up. At 4%, $367 is $212. Here's the problem. A lot of people bought at $1 million or $1.2 or $1.4 million. There's a lot of people in Richmond Hill, Ontario, that bought homes for $1.2 million. They're worth $800,000 or a lot less than that right now. Yeah, strata is also in the U.S. So yeah, I know that. I know it's in the U.S. It's in the U.S., Canada, Australia. It's in New Zealand. It's in every English-speaking country has strata fees. And English-speaking countries, China has no strata fees. No way. No one will ever pay a strata fee. If a light breaks in the hallway or in an elevator fails, man, they think that thing stays broken for 2, 5, 6 years until people come together and say, yeah, my grandma hasn't come up to her apartment in 3 years, and she's living in the lobby because she has a wheelchair. It's been 3 years now. Do you think maybe we could fix this elevator? The part's $20. But that's that. But strata fees, no, every English, it's a good mafia. It's a good mafia move. Man, you sell condos at a loss? Who cares? Get them in there. Get them in with the strata fees, man. You're set. You are set. You just collect strata. You don't have to worry about late rent. And then when they don't pay the strata, you take the unit back. So you don't have to go through the bank. You just go through the strata council. Mike, remember when Italy won the World Cup in Toronto? How crazy was that? I wasn't in Toronto. I was living in Miami when Italy won the World Cup. And that was a big movement, big move for me. It was one of my biggest financial moves in my life. I bet on Italy to win a long shot on the 2006 World Cup. It was huge long shot. I bet on 4 different organizations, legal organizations, that I bet with on the long shot for Italy to win. It was a huge payout for me. Huge. Anyways, mortgage interest payments. So at $367,000, you're looking at $1,940. And then at 5%, you're looking at $2,140. And then at 6%, you're looking at $2,350. So most people can't handle a monthly hike of $40. How would they be able to handle a $200-300 hike monthly? Yeah. Anyways, you can see the chart. A modest 2% hike in interest rates results in a $400 increase in payments and over $120,000 more in interest. Guys, 2% hike is $120,000 more in interest you're going to pay on the $367,000. That's a lot of money. You're paying it back 2.5 times, maybe 3 or 4. By the time you pay this damn thing off and refinance and pay off credit cards and pay off other crap, you'll never own the damn thing. So Anon's in the saying that looking forward to rates going up 6%. And going 6%. And Metal Gear is saying, thanks. Also, my dreams solar geothermal for AC. Yeah, I'm thinking of doing that whole geothermal. I heard about it. It works really well. And I'm also thinking about, you know what I'm thinking about, guys? The whole solar thing. I'm going to build 2 side sheds on the back of the house there, or 1 big shed on the side of the house. I don't want the shed in the back beside the garden because it's an eyesore. I want to put it beside the house, and I have like 25 feet between my house and the fence, and then it's my neighbor on the other side, so it's far. So I'm going to put like a 12-foot wide shed where I planted those trees. If you watch my channel, I planted some trees on the side of the house. I'm going to replant them because they're not getting a lot of sun there. So I'm going to give them another chance somewhere else in the garden. And then I'm going to go from there and then see what I could do with a nice shed back there. Maybe I'll get it done before summer's up. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I got a video I'm going to put up right now, guys, when I'm done Mike in the Night, of some projects I'm working on the house, window projects, very good projects and stuff. And then AA is AA and AA saying, Mike, love your channel. And then Metal Gear is saying, geothermal is great for cooling and heating your home, the home. You can even use it for greenhouse, that's for sure. Put panels on the roof. Yeah, I'm going to put panels on the roof on the plastic prefab shelf that I showed you guys. The plastic prefab shed I showed you guys in the video from a few days ago at the Porn Depot, and I'm looking at solar panels. So I want to buy a 4-panel kit, and I think I want to run everything into the house, or I build another shed to start stocking the batteries and stocking all the inverters and converters and all that crap you need. So I don't want to put that crap in the house, right? So building shelving properly and storing like 20, 30 batteries, deep cycle batteries, and then start from there and start moving. You know what I'm saying, guys? Like kind of start going off grid slowly but surely, you know? So someone's saying I'll be at 5K subs soon enough. Yeah, there's a solar panel and battery, good combo. I might even do the shed like an off-grid shed where I keep the lawnmower and stuff. I'm going to put a little table in the back with 2 deep cycle batteries, 1 inverter, and then 1 plug. Okay? Or maybe 2 plugs. So if the house goes down, or there's a solar storm or some crap like that, I don't know, something happens, we get hit by an EMP or something, then at least what I could do is I could go out to the shed and I could probably still get power from my solar panels. And the shed could be like a fallout shed if something happens, right? I could go there and plug in our electronics and stuff, or radios, so we could hear what's going on or stay in tune, right? And then I'm going to do my office where my current shed is right now, and I'm going to build a nice office just for me to work out of, because I like this office in the house, but actually I want to use this room for something else, something more house practical. Maybe a nice big theater room, because I have a washroom and ensuite here. I could build this into a small suite if I want to, because I have a gigantic walk-in closet where I could just gut half the wall and put a kitchen in there. And then I have an ensuite here, and I have this giant room here. So I could use that as a little 1-bedroom suite, or a loft, or a 1-bedroom room, or a bachelor's pad, or whatever. So, you know, in the future, I'm saying, when I decide to retire, and I could chop this house, when I bought it, originally had 3 suites in it. It had, 2 rental suites. I'm sorry, 2. It had this one here that they were attempting to complete, because it has a full bathroom, and it has a room here for a full-blown kitchen. And then it has the other suite on the other back end of the house, which is 3-bedroom in the back, and a living room and a kitchen. And the living room's enormous. So I can, you know, that's another suite. And then upstairs. So if me and the wife, if the kids go off to college and get married and they don't want to come home or live at home, then me and the wife, we could go to the Philippines, and then we could decide what we're going to do from there. And we could just collect rental income and then let the kids decide what they want to do with the house after we pass away. So okay, I'm just reading the comments here, guys. Okay, I'm getting YouTube links I'll look at later. And then Drody is saying you'll need to put Faraday cage around your electronics to protect an EMP from an EMP attack. Okay, I did not know that, so I'm gonna, you know, I'll make videos and you guys just comment and let me know what I'm doing or what I'm doing wrong, what I need to do. Hey Mike, I don't trust that there, you know, and if I look at it and say, yeah, maybe you're right, you know, I don't, my entire life's been built off, you know, constructive criticism, you know what I'm saying? My entire life's been structured around that, and I've done well taking people's advice, whether it was for investing, whether it was for, you know what I mean, whatever it is for, right? Taking in constructive criticism, I think it's very important to acknowledge. Everyone thinks we're living in a time now where everybody is an expert on global warming. Everyone's a diet expert. You want to go on a diet, someone will tell you all the things they need to do to go on a diet. Everybody's an expert. You know what I'm saying? But then when someone needs to be an expert in performing, like, okay, can you cut this guy's hair? He wants this style. I can't do that. But you're an expert in global warming and you're an expert in dieting. Well, you can't cut some guy's hair? You know what I'm saying, right? Everyone's an expert when it comes to talking and saying things. But then, you know, my barber, or if I had a barber, because I have no hair, would be an expert in global warming. That's just how it is. Oh, okay. So, anyways, guys, we're coming up into the 1 hour mark of the show. FOMO, I want to know, guys, FOMO is all over the place, and a lot of people are at the fear of buying out. This is a really good article, too, by the Huffington Post. Let's go back and see if there's anything else FOMO here that we could add to the show. FOMO is being replaced by FOPTM. FOPTM. What does FOTPM mean? Fear of purchasing tenant. What? Today's FOMO has been replaced by a new fear in the property market. Why interest rates may rise sooner than originally thought. Off the plan financing and increase Victorian first home buying activity. So off the plan financing, guys, is shadow banking and secondary mortgage lenders and stuff like that. Our latest favorite properties, first time about us. Okay, what does this say? It doesn't tell me what it means. Our weekly FHB property update. FOMO, fear of missing out. Okay. Paying too much. Okay. Fear of paying too much. Okay, FOTPM. Maybe I'll do a show next week on FOTPM. Fear of paying too much. FOTPM. So that's that. Is that happening now? Are people sitting there and worried that they're going to be paying too much? Oh, there's another FOMO here. Hold on a second. I'm going to play this video for you guys. Hold on a second. Let me play this for you guys here. I don't think this channel likes me too much. Play music. 5 tips for bidding at an auction. 1. Set your limit beforehand. Make an estimated base research, not emotion. Be prepared to walk away. Get there early. Find out how many bidders are registered. This could affect how you bid. Open with a strong bid. This can knock other bidders down. Avoid round numbers. This keeps the competition guessing and slows momentum. Buyers often set their limit. Watch the competition. Couples often make eye contact when they are. This might be time to back out of the bid. It's so sad. It's so sad. It's so sad how families don't get, you know, a place to live. FOMO is out, poop is in. How to avoid paying too much when buying your new home. So it goes back to this article I was reading. Fear of paying too much. As the Sydney market slows down, Melbourne comes off the boil. House hunters are finding themselves on a more level playing field. But with more stock coming onto the market, the inventory ranks thinning. Buyers are no longer forced to the very top of their budget. Several experts have reported fear of overpaying, or FOOP, replacing the fear of missing out. So how can buyers avoid paying too much for a home in a cooling market? Finally, Australia is admitting that their market's cooling. So, Anand's in Australia, by the way. He's saying that auctions are falling way under 45% this month. That's going to keep going, right? It's a trend that's going to keep going. Work out what property is really worth. Ask the agents what are the comparable sales are. Look how relevant they are to the house or apartment you're trying to buy. So look at comparables, guys. You know what? Don't even go to an auction. Take my advice. Wait till they start getting printed in newspapers, open houses, because people open house, buy on spot, and that's it. No, no. I love it when it's motivated seller. I love those motivated sellers. They always want to sell what they bought for if they're underwater to try and see if they can walk away. Motivated seller. The size of the block and the width of the frontage and the quality of the street, all factors considered when comparing nearby properties, he said. That's when you're comparing comparables, okay, guys? Attending multiple open homes and auctions in the area they were looking around could give the house hunter a better idea of how the value of their target property than the selling agent, according to Wilkin Property Advisor Direct Paul Nugent. You're looking at all the properties in a given area. You've assembled all the data in your mind. It's very specialized, he explained. Selling agents usually have a variety of properties, and they are going to be specializing in the kind of property you want to buy. So that fear of paying too much. So here it is. Avoid making a pre-auction offer. Don't get too emotional. Take advantage of more balanced market. Take advantage, guys. Wait. Because things are going to keep coming down. You're going to start seeing in 5 to 6 years, a lot of young families are going to start having a lot of kids in Australia. Why? Because property prices are going down and people are going to want to start families. People are going to say, now, wow, I can start a family and lay roots and raise kids and have a place for us to live and have a happy family home. But that wasn't the case for the longest time. Now I could see the light at the end of the tunnel for the Australian proper. I see them getting somewhere. And the same thing, getting somewhere with their housing crisis. Same thing with New Zealand. Housing prices in New Zealand are going down. And also, what do you call it? Auctions are going down. Same thing with the UK. UK has been going down for the last, I think, 17, 18 months now. Housing prices in the UK going down. It went up last month like 1%. But it went down like huge, huge. So the UK right now, especially London, everyone left London, moved to Middle England. Everyone moved to Ireland and Scotland. That's why the housing is going up there, because everyone left London. All the major cities in Canada, mass exodus of young people leaving the Toronto and the GTA area. People leaving the Vancouver area and heading into the beautiful interior of BC, mountains and forests. Beautiful. So Margaret O'Brien says, fear of paying too much is just the start. I even heard a real estate agent say on the radio, you don't want to catch a falling knife. Oh, yeah. It's true. Very true. So, guys, as we were looking here from the beginning of the show, and with real estate agents, FOMO's hitting Bitcoin, FOMO's hitting Amazon. FOMO is a sickness, guys. You know, FOMO is in housing, FOMO is in texting, FOMO is more housing, FOMO's everywhere. And I did this video for you guys that's got over 1,000 views in a day. Holy smokes, 956 views. So I'm talking about the housing crash here. And I couldn't stop laughing in this video because there's this real estate agent that's going around telling people that if they don't buy right now, they'll never be able to own, ever. Ever. They're the last generation that could buy. If you haven't seen this video, watch it, please. I couldn't stop laughing my pants off in this video. I swear to you, I couldn't stop laughing. I went to bed laughing, you know. But there's going to be a correction. You're going to start to see a lot of Australians having children. New Zealanders are going to start having children again. You're going to start seeing Canadians starting families again, back to the old routines. Everything's been derailed. People's wedding, people getting married, people having kids, people starting families, people taking jobs, people not taking jobs, people moving away because of this damn housing crisis. And nobody knows how big it is until now. People are starting to feel the pinch. People are starting to realize how it's really affecting their lives on a day-to-day basis. Oh, I own my house, it's not affecting me. Yeah, it's affecting you because you can't sell it for what you realistically want. Oh, you know, I own my house, I could rent it out. Well, you're not renting it for enough because it doesn't even cover the mortgage. You're paying out of pocket. Oh, I bought a condo. I feel okay. No, you don't. Desperations. They put these TV shows called Buying Blind. What a joke. Trying to put fear in young couples. Yes, they're telling the couples that, oh, if you don't buy this dumpster... Here, let's look it up. Buying Blind Australia. Buying Blind is the most frustrating, most frustrating couple. Buying Blind continues to frustrate viewers this week with families slammed on social media over their unrealistic budget.
Has never been tougher.
You're just watching the houses get further and further out of your reach.
We thought we had enough to buy. Turns out that we don't.
These 6 families can't get their foot in the door.
This place is a dump.
Now, in the biggest risk of their lives, they'll buy a house they've never seen.
It's our life savings, and we're just handing it to someone.
TV's new superheroes are here.
That's what we want.
You can just smell potential.
They'll find, buy, and deliver the house of their dreams.
What a pile of steaming manure on an Arizona desert side. Sierra Madre, pile of boiling Sierra Madre in New Mexico on the side of the road. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, Buying Blind has revealed its pickiest couple ever. Oh my god, I missed this. I'm gonna give up making my show. I'm gonna give up doing what I want to do because I can't miss this. I think this is worse than Jersey Shore. The parents of 2 had a budget of $1.58 million and were after a 3-bedroom home with a backyard in Sydney's eastern suburb, with the median house price at $3.2 million. Great, another couple with the pie in the sky thinking, move west. That's what everyone's doing. $1.5 million house in Sydney, eastern suburb. Yeah, sure, no sweet. Uprisingly, the couple had been searching for a home for the past 3 years with no success, but still hadn't given up on their dream. We are at a crisis point. We've got to do this now, Andrew said. No, you don't. The show's buyer, Rich Harvey, had his work cut out for him, convincing the couple that there was no way they could afford this home in the east and should look instead in Sydney's more affordable northern suburbs. I don't know whether they think I can pull a rabbit out of a hat and get them into a $4 million property with $1.5 million, he said bluntly. Technically, I'm going to be really frank with you. That $4 million property, realistically, is probably worth $1 million. Seeing what I've seen in Australia for $2-3 million, realistically, it's probably worth $1 million, and they're asking $4 for it, right? But what I would do is talk them honestly and openly about what they can achieve. So this is what's happening with the show. It's so Buying Blind. I'm actually gonna save this and do a story for this. Maybe cover a bit of the show. You know what I'm saying? Images there. Buying Blind, most frustrating couple in Australia. People, it's becoming a sickness. Oh, see the article. The article's right here.
Mel is worried about moving 45 minutes north of her work and friend.
Oops. I opened another link on... Oops. I opened another link on it was a YouTube link, so it cut me out of it actually closed my live stream there for a second. Anyways, guys, it's getting late. It's getting late. Anyways, Buying Blind, most frustrating couple. What is happening? FOMO, fear of buying out. Fear of being bought out. But you know what? I got some good news for you guys. Prices will not only correct, they're going to go down to a substantial people aren't getting taxed off wages anymore because people aren't living in those cities anymore. Governments are losing, counties are losing, cities are losing. It's getting really bad, and politicians 10 years from now are going to feel the pinch, and they're going to have very little budgets to work with unless the small towns that are buzzing start having to pay the welfare to the big cities to keep them up. That's why I call them paper cities. Because the small towns where people are actually being taxed on their wages will have to support the big cities for keeping them afloat. I know it sounds ridiculous, and I think something like this will happen if it continues on this trend. Anyways, guys, I've been here for an hour and 20 minutes. I'm tired. It's been a great Mike in the Night tonight, guys. FOMO, fear of missing out. Let me know what you guys think. And I'd like to know, FOMO, are you in the fear of missing out, or are you in the fear of paying too much? So we'll do a video on paying too much, because that's going to be a new hot topic as markets crash around the English-speaking world. Comment below and let me know what you guys think. Good night to everybody. Good night, Jasmine. Good night, Margaret. Good night, Anam. Good night, everybody. And I will check out this link you sent me here, and we will discuss this going further. Thanks for watching.